I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. This is the beginning, I guess, of the Devil's Tower UFO Rendezvous. And we have some special guests from within the UFO community. There's a couple of different parts to this. I think there's the celebration of the 40th anniversary of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and there's sort of the UFO festival sort of end of this, and then there's the scientific perspective, from MUFON's perspective, we look at this subject very seriously. So,
it's some flames up there. So that's where the term "fire in the sky" came from. As we were leaving work that day, 7 of us riding in the truck there, we saw these glimmers of light coming through the trees. So, that previous experience is the first thing that came to our mind. Could that be a fire up there? But none of what the explanations we were coming up with were fitting what we were seeing.
That was Mecca. They did Star Wars, and Close Encounters, and since we have a kind of a small lecture here, I'm going to treat it more like a workshop, where it's a lecture. But if you have any questions at all, raise your hand during the lecture. And it's not really a lecture; we're just talking. And
I have a question.
What?
Where was all that when you were out there?
I was going to say that.
You asked.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right. So the field. The part of the song we just saw, the camera or my drone passing over the field, that was the debris field. So that's the famous debris field that only a select few have GPS coordinates to. And so, but not a lot of people get to see stuff like that. And then that was the aerial shot coming up. We shot that last year when we were at the debris field.
In Roswell.
And yeah, outside of Roswell, yeah. And for people who don't know me, and I just kind of threw this in because there's a lot of people here that don't know who I am, and I've been doing this for over 30 years, from cattle mutilations and to spots on different TV shows to Bigfoot. I was a former volunteer deputy for about 8 years. Was terminated from the I got one of the few times I actually got fired from a job, and it was a volunteer job. And it had to do with a horse mutilation case I was doing in the county that I worked in. And they just didn't like, some of the commanders didn't like a deputy being associated with the paranormal, UFOs. Go figure. Others do, though. I mean, I've worked with sheriff departments all over the United States, and they have no problem. Our department, the problem I was, the department I was with, had a problem with it. I was on like NBC or something. That's that lower picture there, talking about, I got thrown in there, they took my gun. I kept my gun because I had bought it. And so, there are situations like that. The microchip over there, that's just to let people know that I am a microchip designer, I'm an IC mass designer. I've been designing microchips not as long as I've been doing UFO research investigations, just over 30 years. And designing microchips.
My name's Debbie Ziegelmeyer. I'm from the state of Missouri. I'm the Missouri MUFON State Director on the MUFON Board of Directors, and I'm also a STAR Team investigator. And
Nonetheless, I'll just tell you who I am. My name is Richard Beckwith. I'm the State Director for the Mutual UFO Network, a member of the Board of Directors. And I've also been a UFO investigator most of my life, or most of my adult life, and also a paranormal investigator. And my talk this morning, what I want to do is sort of give us a big picture about what the universe is about and how we fit in with aliens and all that sort of thing. And I need to preface my talk, first of all, by saying that this is conjecture, okay? I will be using real science to talk about what I think is the nature of the universe, but a lot of what I'm going to talk about this morning is conjecture. I don't have proof of a lot of these things, but these are conclusions that I've reached about the nature of the universe, the big picture, based upon the contacts that I've had over the many years with people that do this sort of thing.
But this is a picture provided by Lee from back then at the United Nations. So this was not the actual presentation, but I'll show you a little bit of that in a second. But these are some of the people who were there. So beginning on the left, you see astronaut Gordon Cooper. Next to him is astronomer Jacques Vallée. Next to him is the astronomer astrophysicist Claude O'Hare. So that was the gentleman I just talked about who was responsible for creating the Friends' UFO organization that still exists. Next to him you'll see is astronomer J. Allen Hynek. Then you see Grenada Prime Minister Sir Eric Gehry, who started the whole thing. In the middle is the UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim. To his right is just a politician from the Special Political Committee. Then there's Lee. You can see his cool do. And then you see researcher Len Stringfield, who's a very popular researcher, and University of Colorado psychologist David Saunders, who was actually on the Condon Committee. And even though he was one of the scientists working on the Condon report, he was one of them who was convinced by their research into the topic, unlike the final determination.
Look at their bike path. Jeez.
Imagine it gets used a lot. These programs. 9 miles to the top.
It is a real
You
life
don't need,
mystery.
I don't need science fiction. I don't have to. If there's too much.
Well, that's the other thing too, is I think people.
Oh, look at there, the window.
Oh, wow, what else?
The grave, look at there, the grave.
Oh, no.
Down the stage.
Over here.
Stan Germanic must be out there.
I'll just say Stan.
Romanek, yeah.
No, that's,
Romanek, yeah.
that's, I was just gonna.
Yeah, that
Not Silver Morning.
That's funny.
I love the man in black who's standing on
Yeah,
the